going back to what we were saying with my mom, like she came here early 30s, and what I was saying was she came from a place where women were viewed very traditionally with what they were supposed to do at work. They were allowed to do any kind of job, right? But if you did more of a traditional, sorry, like a more conservative professional kind of job,
Yeah.
you were very much. It was like the 50s in there with how they treated women. Like
Right.
you weren't really supposed to step it up too much. Stay in your lane. Don't push for promotions. You were really capped at certain areas, and they were very sexist with what I don't want to say sexist, but they were very set in their ways of what they thought women could do,
Right.
like ability, how smart they could be, all these things. So my mom had to kind of not fight against that, but she had to live in that and kind of deal with that her own way, right?
Okay.
And so when she came here to Canada, who knows? Maybe she had it in her head. She's like, I'm in a more modern place, and I can probably try and push and try and get what I didn't have in my home country.
Right.
But she never really managed to break through. And
why do you say this?
because I know what she's done professionally for the last like 20 years, and I've seen her like passed up for promotions, and not even passed up for promotion, but she's never really managed to really move past the level she's at now, which is not right now. She's not at. She's just she's a lab analyst right now for an environmental company, like a hygiene company. You know, industrial hygiene. Yeah.
Of course.
So these guys, they bought out my mom's previous company, which did specifically like environmental stuff, and they bought that portion that's like a sidearm to their main business right now. And
So it's an avenue that they're going with. It's kind of fairly new.
yeah, and they might even shutter. Like, my mom's concerned that they're just going to close down that part of the business because they're ever since they increased their pricing last year, the sales have gone down drastically.
Not to go into too much detail.
Sure. But I actually don't even mind. So go ahead.
There's two things. One, would there be, with not going into too much detail, as much as you want,
Sure, yeah.
with her education base,
Yeah.
could she go into something else?
At this point in life, honestly speaking, I think that's it. Bro, she's like getting close to retirement age.
How old is she now?
She just turned 62.
Okay.
61, sorry.
Yeah.
She's
So
a
1962, 3?
61.
1961.
So like what?
Mom's 57.
Or yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Theoretically, you could research, but what's for what? For me, with my mom, if she ever asked for advice, and sometimes she'll ask for like small bits of advice, like when she'll be like, "Hey, my boss said this to me at work, blah blah. How you think it's okay to respond?" Like stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Partially because of her English, and partially because of just she's like, "What's your take on this?" But I've never really given her like real advice.
Mm-hmm.
But if I ever were to, I would just want her to find a place where she feels respected and just useful. Like, you don't have to be, I mean, you're nearing the end of work life if you want to, right? Like, you can start taking pension at 65 and like whatever. But you're not really going to like fucking break through barriers at this point in life. Shit, you might. You're surprised, but the odds are you probably won't. Like that's stuff you generally try and pursue earlier on in life, where you try and like escalate, try different things, try and move up and all that. Because for a long time, my mom was, I don't want to say disrespected, but she had a hard time in the labs that she was at because they're generally very small labs.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine like in a workplace where there's 20 plus people, if you don't like one person or they don't like you or whatever, fuck it, man, because like there's 19 other people. You just avoid that person and then you're good. But in a work environment where there's just 2 or 3 people, what the fuck you gonna do?
Yeah.
You'd literally have to leave. There's no like ordeal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom was dealing with it for a while, and that kind of stuff got to me because I'm like, for sure, I know that when she came here originally, she probably wanted to pursue different avenues, but the issues with like education being transferred over was a huge problem. I'm sure obviously your mom knows this just as well as my mom did, right?
Yeah.
Like the education that you had in home country is all of a sudden not translating one for one here. So my mom's a chemical engineer from a well-respected university in her country, but that means shit over here. She did all the right stuff where she paid for people to translate her documents. she paid for these things, but it wasn't enough. And then I happened, and then work stopped for a while. And then when she tried getting back going, it was it was hard finding chemical engineer positions in Vancouver for someone who is 35 from another country. So
And how's your English at this point?
at that point, not terrible, but not great. People are still, you're like, what did you say? Can't understand. You're like, accent was a thing, vocabulary to a degree. So it was definitely a struggle, and being no internet at the time too makes shit even harder, because you can't just like Google this, Google that, like Google how to like get better at English. It's like you have to go to the fucking like. You have to go to the job, like the fucking jobs, like the work BC or whatever. You go to like some institute that someone told us, like, hey, I heard they do English at this place. You want to check it out? And like my parents did a few of those things when they got here. There's like one was like Mosaic was one. There were like a couple other ones, but like to improve it. And you go, my parents tell me stories like you go in, and it's like you fucking know where you are because everyone's some fucking random flavor of immigrant. My dad's like, yeah, man, I met like Persians, I met Indians, I met more Latinos, and he's like, I met some fucking like Eastern Europeans. So it's fucking, and everyone's got their own funny ass accent because everyone's from a different corner of the world, but everyone's in that room to try and do better and to try and improve their level of English so that they can get better opportunities in Vancouver and Canada. But yeah, when I look back at like what I've done and what I've tried to accomplish, and I think what was my parents' feeling of what they wanted to achieve here when they were here at my age, because we're roughly getting to that same point now. And I just think my mom definitely wanted more, and she could have gotten a lot more of things played out in a few different ways. So that just kind of what you said earlier reminded me of that.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying. What interests me the most, though, is kind of why your mom would be, if I had to speculate.
Would be what?
Why would she be this way? Why would she be having this issue and not your dad?
Oh, dude, a lot of that is to do with their,
I've noticed this now. My mom is 100%.
Yeah.
There's no reason for us to go into that.
Sure.
But my point is that my mom is not the same exactly, but certain things are.
Yeah.
And the most common is that the comparison between my dad and my mom's pure ability to have an avalanche of bad problems, recoup, go back, and just grind or do something. Yeah. The difference is my dad. The biggest difference I can tell. Now you can tell me in my opinion.
Yeah.
My dad's. This is common knowledge, right? My dad's extremely non-agreeable man.
Yes.
Hard-headed as fuck.
Yep.
I remember being 13 and my dad, and this is going to sound like a fucking lie. My dad, and I was literally 13 to 16 every summer. I would either take some summer school because I was stupid.
Yeah.
And not because I failed, but I had to like get ahead, so I had like less in the curriculum next year so I can focus. My dad would drive us and we go on like road trips on the truck because he was a trucker.
Yeah.
And he would drive 40 hours, no sleep. 40 hours, man.
That's like some shit that you'll hear about, like not here, but I've heard that stuff in like South America. There's like crazy, or in Central America too. And like you'll watch some like quick YouTube documentary about it or whatever, and it's like, yeah, I'm just doing my hand, like 42. I'm like, how the fuck are you driving 35 hours? Like, what the?
Caffeine pills.
What the fuck?
Caffeine pills. That was my dad's thing.
Like, god damn.
That was my dad's thing. He
and
would pop.
I'm like, fucking hell, bro.
Yeah.
And they'll say it like it was like not even a big deal. Like, oh yeah.
A lot of those guys are meth though. Real.
And they're like, I just have to get there. And you're like, what? I'm like, if I had to drive that many hours, I'd be bitching the whole time. This guy's like, yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Yeah, it's being able to see the future and not crumbling in the grind of. This is all gonna sound like some entrepreneur garbage, but literally I can't describe it in any other way. It's basically the grind to a position in life where you're comfortable, But that grind is where people fail.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you're kind of broke. You're living in some type of projects. You're fucking riding a bike to work. You got a couple kids you got to feed. Blah, 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 blah. Now, the difference is, of course, there's some biological hardships that females face that men don't, such as going into pregnancy, taking care of the kid. Now you got to go back on the workforce and then balance that. Because your responsibility as a mother to an immigrant mother doesn't stop just because you go to work.
Mm-hmm.
That was never the case with my mom. I'm sure that's not the case with yours.
Yeah.
Right? Good moms put their kids first. That's just how it is. If that's not how you are, you're not the rule. You're the exception for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And all that plus the fact that you're competing at bottom level jobs with men, because a guy could be less educated than you, have a way much more heart to be able to do something, just not only like mentally but also like body wise. My body doesn't break down like a girl's body's gonna break down. It's like, I'm not trying to be sexist, but it's just like, dude, if you do 80 hours in a week, how many girls have I ever heard of tell me they do 80 hours in a week? One, because of personality. Most girls don't want to do 80 hours a week. I've never met a girl that's been like, oh yeah, I did 80 hours a week and Pilates. Like, never. It's like, I did one job and then that's it. I am enjoying my life.
Yes.
Right? Guys, I've heard this. Like riggers, there's a group of men that do these hours. And those are the guys from the general, normal, average guy that makes good money. Otherwise, you have a business, blah, blah, blah.
Actually, the one exception to that, I would say, immigrant single moms.
That's a small
crazy shit.
That's a small portion.
I know it is. I'm not saying this is like this applies to anyone, but that, like, if I think about a group, that's a group, and that is some tough shit.
Yeah, but hold on. Hours, yes.
Because you're on
job ability, job
I'm
difficulty.
talking about hours because you said the 80 hour stuff.
I retract that.
Yeah, right. That's the only group that like reminds me of that, because they're like, they'll take care of their kid, they'll be in school, and they'll work 2 or 3 jobs.
I agree.
And you're like,
I've seen this. I agree. Yeah.
Excuse me, what did you just say? They're like, I gotta like. I'm like, so then when the fuck are you sleeping? It's like, oh, I like, in between shifts, a couple hours here, a couple hours there. I'm like, what?
Listen, man, I tell my mom one thing. I say, I've said this on the podcast before. If I could find a chick that's as hardworking and fucking modest as my mom,
it's over.
That's Korean.
It's over. It's over,
bro. I'll call the boys. I'll have all 3 of you as my fucking groomsmen.
Hell yeah.
Best mans, all 3 of you. Fuck it.
Hell yeah.
And I'm going in, dog. It's Dundies. And you know what? I'm gonna stop working at these bars because I don't have a purpose to work at these bars no more.
Yeah.
Now I could do other stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I could do late night date nights. You know what I'm saying? I'll turn into a fucking dweeb. It's okay. It's okay.
If you find that,
if I find that,
motherfucker, it's okay.
It's okay.
This was, you know what? This is the missing link to all these Red Pill motherfuckers.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like reading a book and there's like a missing chapter.
Yeah.
That's the chapter right there.
But this is the keynote that she is foreseen she's not gonna get a divorce with you. She's not gonna, like, as long as you don't abuse her, like you hit her, because that's the only version of immigrant parents I've seen.
Yes.
Hit her, physically abuse her, cheat on her, like basically the 5 sins or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Right? Unless you do those, like normal, respectable man, she's gonna die with you, bro.
Yes.
That is what I'm talking about. Not like some fucking thottie that's with you for 10 years and then wants to switch up to BBCs.
Jesus.
That's the truth with these fucking Port Moody MILFs, man.
Dude, yeah, when I see
young cock and BBCs.
When I see this kind of stuff on YouTube of these, like,
tragic.
I don't know how best to describe it. Like, and I'm not even saying like, oh, I don't want to disrespect, but I just want to be accurate in how I describe these people.
Yeah.
But when I see these clips of certain girls on No Jumper,
oh, that's the worst. That show really fucked me up.
And when I see, this might come as offensive to some people, but I'm gonna say fuck it and say it anyways. And not to be like I'm gonna intentionally be offensive, but
dog, just do it. It's funny but foul. Come on.
I know, I understand.
Come on, son. It's in the name.
What I'm saying is,
keep
like,
it real.
You got these girls that have taken this idea of owning your sexuality and wanting to not give a fuck and all these things that they'll tell themselves to
Right.
convince them that what you're doing is okay.
Yeah.
And it's taken to such a far extreme that we're talking about some, like, honestly, some pretty not good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I had 50 dudes rail me and I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
Like,
But like,
how do you think
yeah.
someone is going to look back on that? And when I mean someone, I mean potentially your child
Or anybody, bro.
is going to see, yeah, or anybody that you respect in your life
50,
is
bro.
going to see this. And how are you going to tell them that that's okay?
Bitch went for a triple double, bro.
Like, and
50.
not only the 50 part, but that you're so not only proud and happy about it, but it's like you're promoting this stuff like it's okay. This shit is not okay, man.
Yeah, like you're putting Google ads up.
Like,
do this. Come on.
people watch this stuff. Kids watch this.
Yeah.
And like, how do you think it's healthy as a society to promote this kind of activity?
Damn, that's true.
Like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Like,
So
that's fucked up.
that kind of stuff is like, bruh, like, I forget how we got here, but I'm like, Jesus. Like, when I saw that stuff, I'm like,
2 joints. If you forgot the
Bro.
journey, it's
No.
2 joints.
yeah, no kidding, man.
That's
But,
how we got here.
God damn, yeah. So
Oh man.
it's too far, man. It's too far.
So, just complete side note. The cold and the joints have combined
Oh
to a
damn.
sexy ass voice right now.
You got halfway to Barry White.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm gonna
Coming at
play
you
some Barry White
live.
song. That's halfway to Barry White right now. Is what that is. That's halfway to Barry
Play
White.
some Johnny Cash. Let me see if I could.
No, Johnny Cash had that like lifelong smoker raspy voice to him. So you need some scratch in your voice for Johnny Cash.
No, I
Yeah,
can't do
it's
that.
like that. It's like that's what it sounds like.
Yo, pass my phone.
Myself today.
Pass
yeah,
my
it's
phone.
like that. Here. Did you hurt yourself today?
I've been hurting myself for 20.
Okay, let's
28
take it
years,
easy, man.
dog.
I'm not your therapist, all right?
Dog.
Hurt Johnny Cash. Here we
I
go.
hurt myself.
Today. Yeah, dude, that's.
Yo, come on, play it. I'll cut it out.
Go cut it out, or I won't. You don't want me
Yeah,
to touch that?
actually,
I'll
yeah,
text you.
yeah, do that.
There you go.
I want to see if I could do it. Couple puffs, pre-workout. I myself. No, I can't.
You know what I mean?
See if I still feel.
Yeah. He's got that like
On the
old
pain.
gravelly voice to him versus like Barry White, deep, and it's clean.
Yeah, that radio voice.
I like that too. Let's see. It's Chris Tucker versus Larry White. Ah, there we go. My first.
You want a little? You want a little one?
No, I'm good.
Yo, come on, do a little one with me.
Hold on, bro. Oh, with you? All right, sure.
No, my guy Barry, bro. Damn. Yo,
That is-
hold up. How much pussy did this guy rail?
This guy
my
was
guy Barry White.
This guy was literally the
yeah,
king.
play a little bit. Fucking white, bro. Stop.
It's off.
How much?
It's too
That's
much.
what I want to know. How much? Like beyond Wilt
Do
Chamberlain.
you know this guy's story?
Okay, I don't care about the story.
Not like his life story. I mean, like what you're talking about story.
No. Is he gay?
No.
Oh.
No, this guy was one of the kings
Yeah.
of his era. 95% of all his songs, because like I grew up on this shit. Don't ask me why. 95% of his songs are about fucking and about loving. Like, some of his lyrics be like, "Hey girl, slow down so I can take your panties off." Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And with his voice, like, that's, think about why he would do that.
You know
Because
what?
that's all he's doing day on day, man.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing.
Yeah.
All he's doing is just loving women and fucking them.
Yeah, bro.
It's insane. This guy was the king.
was the king.
He really
The king.
was.
And he's
of
a big
the
guy, bro. He's a
Oh.
big guy, bro.
He is
We're gonna sound like a bunch of fucking gay dudes, but like, bro, big guy Barry, bro.
big guy Barry. I think this guy was tall too. Like, what?
Give me some stats on Barry
Yeah,
White.
bro.
Walking in at.
Because he.
Hold on, let me
his
do it. Let me
images-
do a WWE fucking stand. Dude, that upper mustache on Barry. Pull up an upper mustache on Barry,
Oh, yeah,
bro.
I got you.
Dog, if you take
No,
the
that was
upper
pink.
mustache
There you go.
on Barry White, right?
Yeah.
And you put it as equal amount of trees across the world, okay? You would not be able to see the cities underneath the trees because that's how thick this guy's fucking mustache is, bro. Dense.
But look, he was a big dude. He was not just.
He looks like he's gonna assault you, bro. That's probably why girls like that shit. Yo, hold up, go back, go up. Who's that chick beside Barry fucking White, bro?
One of his wives.
Dog, okay. Just a quick description of these people listening to this audio, okay? Barry is so big, dog. You know when a dude's so big, Hector? You know when he's big?
Yeah.
Is when his fucking features are deformed, bro. This guy's head is 3 heads, dog.
His bottom lip.
You could tell it's 3 heads because there's a ratio between the girl standing fucking beside him, and you can tell her head is a third of his head.
Wait till you see him with the baby.
Just imagine. Oh my. Yo, get out of here. Get the
It
fuck
looks
out
like
of here.
he could swallow that
Yo,
baby.
Barry
whole.
White's a different species, bro. I think he's like a more profound species than us. He's just bigger and shit, and he's got a better voice. He doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't need a real skill. He
I
could
wonder.
just sing.
Hold on.
He could just sing.
Let me see what I'm. You want to tell the audience?
Actually,
what I'm looking
retract
up?
that. Singing is savagely hard.
Oh yeah, he died early because of heart problems.
Yeah, because God wanted him, bro. He's a wanted dude, bro. People want him. Girls want him.
The-
Men want to be like him.
the-
God wants him.
The hard part about, and for the audience, I googled Barry White body count because he comes from a time where body count wasn't used in vocabulary. If you look up body count, it's just gonna pull up like his death.
See? And that's when you know people are soft nowadays, right? Because back in the day, if you ask OGs in prison, like, what's your body count, dog? He's not going to turn around and be like, yo, it's 80 girls. No, bro, he's going to be like, yeah, there was this one dude I had to kill over a drug rip. Oh, my stepdad, I stabbed him at 14. There's like a lineup of stat lines that this guy did. Time, how he did it, how he got with it, how he got caught, everything. How the fucking moon was over the horizon. He had all that down, man. Horoscopes for the day. All that.
Yeah, that guy was the king back in his day.
Yeah.
Off last podcast with a bit of a cliffhanger, because it was a 2-part question. The first part was, or it's a 2-part discussion. The first part we were describing how we as a society, and we used the example of that teacher in Ontario, we have overcorrected in general, and we're, as you have mentioned, too far left in a lot of ways. And so the second part of that, which is what we're going to discuss now, is, do you think there's a way to recenter us? And if so, how?
Yeah. Which version do you want?
No, it's if you think yes, then you have to describe how.
Yeah, okay. So there's multiple ways of changing it. One is like pure fascism.
Jesus. That's overcorrection the other way.
No, you need that for a bit. So
Fucking hell.
so listen.
That's how we got here in the first place.
Hold on, man. Listen, we went past. You have to stop where it fits you best, right? We didn't stop where it fits us best, right? We just kept going.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah,
how you have to actually have like analysts to like look at this and be like, okay, this day, this time, the world is like this. So now we have to stop so that everything's at equilibrium, right? But fascism is the fucking best way to get this nice and going. The other thing is is a religious republic. Oh, buddy, is that great? Look at what's going on in Iran, bro. You know, that's where we really need feminists, right? All these feminists coming out in fucking New York City, California, San Diego, Texas. Oh my God, with so much oppression. Oh my God. Bro, take your fucking motivation to the Middle East and help these women that actually need fucking help, bro.
Actually, how did we not discuss that last week? You are the first person I'd go to like ask and talk to about that at depth, because you have not only experience with this personally, but like
I can't tell.
give me the second one. Give me this one.
All right,
You're one of the
continue.
first people that I go to with this, and we didn't discuss it last week when it was. I mean, it's still really hot, but when it just happened. So break it down for me, my guy. Iran.
The short of it is, I just don't want to defer from our actual thing.
You can bring it back to that if you want.
Yeah.
Like, use it as a point.
For sure. Basically, hijabs have been oppressing women in a way where it shouldn't have. Religion has turned into a fascist state where it's forcing religious law upon the public for years. And it's getting to a point where there is good technology in Iran, so they can reflect on other countries and be like, hey, what the fuck? They're religious too, but they're not spraying people on the fucking street. You know, if you go across, you know, the Middle East, you look at Dubai, you look at Kuwait,
Yep.
they're religious as well, but they're not.
Is Kuwait doing well?
Kuwait's doing fine. I mean, those are like the
Well,
best.
they're really small countries.
They're, of course, they're small, but for per capita, they're doing really well. Like if you take Kuwait and take a piece of land in Iran, like a city or something as big, Kuwait's doing way better, right? And Iran is like, we have nuclear plants, man. Like we do well, right? In the Middle East, we do well, yet we're not that big.
Yeah.
I think Iran was 1.6 trillion GDP, which is Russia's 1.8, to put you in perspective.
Right.
That's how it shows you how kind of little Russia is. But anyways, going back to the point, there's been revolutions of people revolting against the government for like decades in Iran, over and over
Like
and
it's
over
always
again.
been like small ones here and there.
Yeah, because
For different things.
for different things. Iran is one of those places where it's like the heart of the heart, because the people are educated, but
Yeah.
the government is so fucked up, or they're so fascist. They're like almost anti their own people. They're the number one demon that's fucking up people's lives in Iran is their actual government. Like, we know Trudeau's fucking us up, but it's not like he's fucking me up on a daily.
Yeah.
He's fucking me up in a year span.
Yeah.
But
Right.
On a daily, bro, I don't have to think about Trudeau's blackface, right? that shit doesn't come up. So that's the short of it. And they're revolting again, and they're killing people. And literally, it started with this one woman who's 22. I don't want to discuss her name. But,
That's okay.
But basically, this poor girl literally got killed in the hands of the militia, which is like the hijab, basically the hijab police.
The job enforcers, yeah.
Yeah, fucking tragic people, man, losers. And she died because of her hijab, bro. She literally died. A 22-year-old girl basically died, and that's what kind of sparked the pre-existing hate for the government and trying to revolt and trying to get, thing. To paint you guys a picture, I've sent in this group chat multiple pictures. I've even posted on our social media on Instagram. Go check that out, Funny But Foul Podcast. Multiple stories of these reels that I found that people to put together in the Iranian community of the pictures of decades ago during the Shah time.
Yeah.
I'm not a Shah guy, right? The Shah did fucked up shit himself. However, religion was selectively optional. And what that means is a small portion of the population was religious, and they were in the villages. The villages. They wanted to do that, right? And that's fine. You want to be religious, you want to be Catholic, you want to be Jewish, whatever. Just don't kill people because of religion. Religion is supposed to make peace and give you morals, and you guys are going against it, and completely desecrating what religion's made. Is a support beam to run a civilization from thousands of years ago, right? And Islam is the newest one, so it's like the most radical, and it's looked at the most radical one because it hasn't been tuned yet.
Or it's basically at the point where Christianity was in the 1100s, where they were literally killing everyone and themselves.
Yeah.
It's the almost same time frame, 1100
Yeah.
years, because Islam was 900 AD
Exactly.
with Muhammad.
Yeah.
So we're talking about roughly the same. That's crazy. You actually say that.
Yeah. It's
That makes
tragic.
that makes me realize, like, literally they're actually at the same age.
Yeah, and
Fucking,
so
that's
it makes sense why it's like an eruption, a volcano, constantly active. But I'll tell you one more thing about religion is that radical depending on, it doesn't even matter the age of the religion.
True.
In there's these radical I forgot the name, it's on the tip of my tongue, but the Jewish fucking priests, what are they called?
The rabbis?
Rabbis. There's
The
these rabbis.
ultra orthodox?
Yeah, that cut off
Those are
the
nuts.
radical orthodox. They cut off a baby's fucking hold on, this is true. We look it up after, but they cut off. They circumcise a baby, and then they suck the blood out of the
moil,
dick of
the moil. Yeah.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, man.
People-
there's in that job frame, how many like pedophiles you're gonna find?
Yep.
A lot of guys just go into that to just have that happen. So they're fucking pedos and they're weird. They got baby blood. Like, bro, prove to me that this actually works. So even though my whole point is that
People don't even know about that. That's crazy. And I forgot that that's a thing. Yeah.
even though
Because people think, oh yeah, they're just like little circumcision, little snip snip. That's half of it.
yeah, even though the Jewish religion is so old, yet they still have like these radical portions of them that are.
For sure.
It doesn't make any fucking sense, man.
Like if put it to you another way. I think the mark of some of this stuff to be considered radical or not in our age is like, okay, take some of these old religion traditions, and if a new religion came up and started doing some of these customs, would we mark it as radical or not? So that's a good example, because if a new religion decided like that, they promoted themselves as that, you'd be like, the fuck? No. Not
Yeah.
joining, not doing it, blah, blah, blah. But because these other ones are rooted in tradition and culture, it's just like, oh, that's just part of it.
Hold on. This new age woke movement that's going on with the LGBTQT is a religion.
Shut up.
It's a fucking religion, man. They're changing your speech. What is a religion? They're changing your ideologies. They're changing your speech. They're changing your rights. They're enforcing certain rules in company settings, in social settings, in the norm of the public that I would say majority of people don't agree with. They just abide by. What is religion? What is fascism? What is it? If I don't agree with something, I get fired, right? If I start talking in a certain way, I get fired. But I'm not necessarily racist if I talk like that. It's just that it's not politically correct, right?
Yeah.
For example, there's all these shows with. There's a guy, actually. I should probably get his name. We could look into him, but he is actually a very well educated guy, and he has, surprisingly, he's on TikTok, which is rare to find.
What does it do?
I think he has a master's or PhD in like social studies, it's like political science or something.
Sure.
Like he literally debates
I got you.
people, right? And the recent episodes have been basically he goes up to a lot of university profs that their majors are like sex studies or feminism,
Okay.
and then debates them. The number one question, what do you think is the number one question that none of these woke people can answer? What do you think the number one question is?
No idea.
Think about it a little bit. Nothing?
No.
Nothing? The number one question? Nothing?
I got too many ideas. It's like
It's tough. It's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah.
It's tough because you would think that educated people wouldn't have a problem with this. What is a fucking woman? Define a woman.
shut up.
Swear to God, I will literally, wallahi, bro. Wallahi, this is.
Damn, bro.
Wallahi.
Throwback to a
I'll
couple.
go back, son.
Throwback to a couple burpees won't hurt me.
Yeah, bro.
Bruh.
Out there. If you're out there, Bless me with a lottery ticket, son.
Wallahi, okay, you're gonna show me.
You know what I'm
later.
saying? I don't want the 72 virgins, man. You can keep them. Just fucking give me a lottery ticket, right? Wallahi, bro. And this is, I'll go to the traditional Middle Eastern guy when I see shit like this. What is a woman? Biologically born a woman is not all of them can have babies, but has the right things to have a baby or close to. Like if they're deformed, of course. But it's like if you're born a woman and you're fucking, the nucleus of your cells is telling you to produce estrogen and estradiol, naturally you're a woman. I'm sorry, that's what a woman is. You can't cut your dick and make a fucking pussy, put a couple staples in there, and then fucking clean it up with some drywall and tell me that's a pussy, bro. It's just not fucking pussy. I'm not gonna call you a fucking woman, bro. You know? And the problem of this is like, this is why it's a religion. Because now I have to, in a workplace setting, I have to call this person a woman, or I have to find out what the pronouns are. Why the fuck should I care? Like, that's not racist. That's not fucking thing. I have to accept this person as a woman. But it's not true. They're not a woman.
I got a good one for you. I got a really good one for you. This might fuck you up. If you choose to pass on the question, that's okay. That's whatever. What would you do if you get a call from one of the girls that you've been with? You didn't know her very well, but that you've been with, so you don't know her life history, all that shit.
Yeah, rehab.
And then it's a call and it says, "Hey Armand, I have a confession. I'm sorry I didn't bring this up earlier. I just didn't think it was gonna be a big deal and this and that, and I like it. But I wasn't totally truthful with you when we first met. And I guess I wasn't forthcoming."
Oh, I could see where this is going already.
My name's not Jen.
What a nightmare.
My original name was Jake, and I was born a man.
Yo.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
Fuck.
But I just wanted you to know because I like you and I respect you.
Oh, man.
Click.
Hold on. I don't have a second to say anything?
No, click. It's voicemail. We'll call it voicemail.
Okay.
What are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on here?
I'm going to be honest, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I jumped
And
the
feel
gun
free
too
to
quick.
Yeah.
I jumped the gun, but honestly, I wasn't wrong. Rehab would be in consideration to the steps I would take to get out of that. I need major therapy at that point.
Yeah.
I need some major therapy.
Yeah.
I need to feel. In Farsi, there's a perfect word for this, right? It's called najas. Najas is something that it accumulated from a time period where it wasn't ordinary to have dogs and cats as pets. They were kind of called, the most similar word would be gross.
Okay.
Right? I would feel gross about myself, and I don't think if I was left alone, I would probably kill myself. I'd probably kill myself. That, like, I'd be worried about.
Hell.
I'd be really worried about killing myself at that point, because I'd be like
spending the nights in the fucking.
I would call my mom.
Yeah.
I'd call my mom. I'd call the boys, and I would just fucking confess of what I just fucking heard, because I couldn't keep that a secret, bro. I can't keep that shit a secret. Like, I wouldn't be yelling it on the streets or anything, but the people I care about, I would tell them, because I would ask them for help.
Yeah.
Because I would fucking need it at that point.
Yeah.
And this got dark real fast, but like, bro, if that shit's click and I can't reach this person to like beat the shit out of them, bro, it's, I mean, the name of the game, bro.
Did even like, okay.
Because now you're a dude, right? Now you're a dude,
I was gonna
right?
say, I'm not. Forget about beating the shit out of. Let's say you beat the shit out of them. That ain't gonna help you.
It's okay though. It's okay. They'll put me in like 24-hour confinement, right, for suicidal and fucking a couple felonies because I beat this person. So I'd be safe, at least in the long run. I wouldn't be suicidal, right?
I'm sorry. I'm just might be the weed, but I'm like, is my nose crooked?
No, man. Shut the fuck.
You know
up.
why? You know why? Because my dad threw me off. He's like, hey, you should get that nose looked at. I'm like, what do you mean, man?
Yo, bro, don't get insecure. You're telling me I'm insecure and shit. This guy's looking at his nose, telling me he's insecure. Dog, you're 29 years old.
I got hit. That's why. And
I know.
I'm like,
let me
what?
see. Let me see. Look at me straight up. Put that mic down. Let me fucking see you. Yo, dog, it's going it's going left. It's going left.
Bro, don't fuck me up like that,
man. Dog. No. You're good.
But off camera. Yo, but seriously, call your doctor.
No. You're good, man. You're good. You're good. I think at a certain point in time, like, bro, going to I think this should be our last point, right? We want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, 100%.
The short last point is that increasing monetary value gives you some security, but the main security of it is really just being secure. For me, has worked in this way to combat, at least. I'm not the fully most secure person for sure, but to combat that would be to use logic in the insecure setting by asking yourself that insecure question of whatever it is, right? So I ask myself, like, okay, for example, I'll give myself the worst of the worst. I'm fucking Middle Eastern, blah, 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 felony, whatever the worst security could be. Monetary value helps a little bit. So like nice car, nice house, whatever, hobbies, girls, sure. Girls also helps. I would say that's another portion of itself. That's helped me a lot throughout the years where I failed in other avenues. And then also that logic is the kind of the cherry that kind of completes you. And once you get that logic down, and I pray and hope that most men, at least, please, if there's a wallahi up top and the fucking Allah in my heart, let this fucking happen. I pray, if I'm religious in another lifetime, that there is at least a good portion of men out there at any point in time on earth that when they hit 30, they get this logic security where they can work out insecurities in their head. Because I think that would help with fucking divorces, everything across the board, around the world.
Yeah.
This would fucking help everybody. Like there'd be less fucking domestic violence against them. There'd be so many things that would help this, because it's so sad when you see somebody, and thank God that around people, like, I'm going all religious, but I'm not even that religious, but people around me are generally like improving as well. Nothing worse. I just called a buddy and like, bro, this guy, last 30 seconds, 30 seconds. This guy, we grew up together, bro. He's also Iranian.
Yeah.
Our families knew. We were tight, bro. We would spend every summer together. From like 12 to like 15. 3 years. And I knew him from fucking Iran. Okay? Went to university. Failed second year. Did some acid. I don't know what happened. Suddenly this guy went from a normal fucking guy to super bipolar. Extremely bipolar. Like, he almost antagonized himself against everybody. Throughout the family friends, throughout his own friends, his outside friends, any kind of relationship he could possibly have. And he never did anything. He just did like bar backing and shit like that, and then quit like 3 months later. I just talked to him. Still doing the same thing. Like, I feel so bad about this guy, because he went too deep into red pill shit.
Yeah.
At too young of an age, and then he did like drugs that he wasn't supposed to do. You're not supposed to do acid at fucking 19, bro.
Yeah.
There's a good chance you're gonna fuck yourself. So I think if the best thing you can do is try to use logic, because it's in your control. Monetary value might not be in control. Girls might not be in your control. Success in life might not be in control. Family opportunities might not be in control. Other things might not be in your control.
Your thoughts are in your
but
control.
your thoughts are always in your fucking control.
That's a good one. I think we should end up.
Bro, I gotta ask you a question.
Oh, hey, bro, is it cool if my friend asks you a question real quick?
Yeah, sure.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so like, if you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich,
Right? Are you gonna lick it off your buddy's dick, or is your mom gonna lick it?
no, bro, no.
Okay.
Like, if you make it, and then like, bro, like, you make it in the order you say it, but you don't make it in the, like, say you do the opposite, is it still peanut butter and jelly?
Yeah, because that's the ingredients. It's not the order. Nobody said that that's the order you have to put it in. It's the fucking ingredients, you dumb fuck.
This guy like makes a jelly and peanut butter sandwich. All of a sudden, he's made like a new sandwich. It's the same.
Hey, I made it with peanut butter first, then jelly.
It's the same sandwich, man. If you make a fucking...
Oh, shit, are y'all doing a podcast?
If you make like a... Yes, of course. If you make like a turkey and like cheese sandwich, if you put cheese first and then turkey next, it doesn't matter, man. It's...
Instead of coming up with these stupid ass things, the two best things I can give you advice on is like, stop wasting time on that shit, and like either fuck girls or make an avenue of money or a skill.
Man, you already know. I've been working hard with my parents. You already know.
You're working hard with your parents.
Yeah, because they do construction and all that. And
Are you Mexican?
That shit sounds stupid as fuck.
Okay, that's just racist, my boy.
No, but are you Mexican?
Yeah.
Okay, well, how's that racist then?
Oh, it's because I thought you were gonna be like, oh, some shit.
No, but how's that racist though? Like I didn't say that because you said construction. I said that because of your accent.
Oh, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. So then how's that racist? Plus, listen,
Because a lot of people on here just make racist jokes. I'm like, oh, fuck.
But what's wrong with racist jokes? That's like the funny part of life, man. I think the newer generation, like you guys are a little bit too sensitive. Racist jokes are hilarious.
I'm
Yeah,
not sensitive.
bro.
You give us a question.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Hardworking Mexican.
Good one.
Give us a good question.
What do you guys think is like the most hardest job right to this day?
That's not a bad question.
As far as what? Physicality
but-
or mental?
No, but you gotta. That's up to you, right?
Mentally.
Okay, I think it differs.
Oh wait, he said mentally though, so here.
Oh, mentally, well then the most qualified job, right? The rarest job that people can do the least of. Like if you take a population and they can't do that job as much in a percentage, then that's the hardest job. I would say like doctor.
Yeah, what do you think that is?
Probably doctor is probably one of the hardest. Surgeon, neurosurgeon, fucking physicists. Like that shit's probably like what is it called?
Theoretical physicists.
Yeah, they're probably the top end scientists for sure because they don't get paid for the job. Like the amount of money that they get paid, like astronauts and stuff, they don't get that much money, but it's like they do it for the love of the game.
Some of the crazy stories I heard are like the physicists that'll be up in like the Atacama Desert in Chile, in some fucking like remote like. They'll go home for like a month out of the year, and they're just there the whole fucking year doing what they're doing, and they get paid like dick.
Yeah, but as far as like physical job, I've done it. Rigging,
Have you ever seen those roughnecks?
dude. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked, bro.
Rigging is tough. Rigging
Hold
is
up,
super tough.
my friend has another question. Is it cool? If you
Sure,
ask?
yeah, that's cool.
Go ahead.
Make it a good
Diego,
question,
go.
though. No stupid ass questions,
Make it a good question though. Come on.
please.
Yeah, what do you guys think about Andrew Tate?
Fuck. You take this one first.
Okay. The thing with Andrew Tate is that if he doesn't become too negative, like there's a portion of a red pill where you go too negative, where you become like pessimistic. If you don't do that and you defer from that, then it's good. It's a positive message to send to sensitive generation coming up, right? Because now the younger generation is like basing their whole life on the approval of a girl, which is ridiculous. You should be like on your own journey, and then the right girl will come up, and you'll gain the kind of game to get that kind of girl. But now it's like he's doing too much, and I've seen some of his new stuff where like he'll go against like Sneeko and stuff, and I'm like, why are you guys like clashing on each other? You should be like lifting each other up so everybody kind of looks good instead of shitting on each other. Right? Like I shit on my friends too, but in a friendly way. Like anytime I shit on my friends in a bad way,
Yeah, I like a joking way.
I regret it later. But you go ahead. What do you think?
That's actually similar to what I was gonna say because actually not even similar to what I was gonna say, but I agree with what you're saying because listen, I'll tell you right now straight up when I first saw Tate, I wasn't a fan because he reminded me of like other guys that I'd seen. Like, have you guys heard of Fresh and Fit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how they came across my YouTube recommended like a year and a half, like almost when they first started their channel. Somehow they popped up on my YouTube. So I actually heard about them before homeboy over here heard about them, and I watched a bit of their stuff because they seemed a bit. Some of the early stuff was a bit interesting, but it kind of what I noticed was that it was just repetitive. It was the same shit, right? And it generally. The conversation always steered to the same stuff, which was like, stay away from thoughty girls. Most girls end up being thoughts and like blah, blah, this and that. And I'm like, sure, fair enough, fine. But I can't watch 10 videos of the same shit. It's too much. And then at one point, they even brought on Andrew Tate before he kind of became big. And so that's when homeboy over here started seeing them too. And he was more of a fan than I was. I didn't really hate any of the stuff, but what got me, I just got tired of it. Like the Tate stuff, sure, you know what? Fine. Some of the stuff he says makes sense, and I think, like my buddy here said, it's kind of an important message to send out because there are young men out there, man, who need someone to listen to because they are being fed some fucked shit, and and
It's
they're
not supposed to go.
yeah, man, and they're not doing well in life in general, right? They no job prospect. I think what was some like news article I saw recently talking about like incels and shit. And I don't agree with using that kind of words. I think it's fucking stupid. But the idea that there is a portion of young men in America, especially, that are starting to become dissolved, like they're starting to become unmotivated in life, and adding to that, job prospects are not great. Historically speaking, a population with a growing amount of men who are lacking job opportunities is dangerous. Is dangerous in a society, just in general, right? So I don't. When people are like, oh yeah, you know, fuck incels, blah blah, blah, all like when feminists come out and they're like, oh, you know, like all these men who think that blah blah. That kind of conflict, I think, is extremely detrimental to a society. I understand that, you know, women are going to be like, you know, men shouldn't think that they have a right to our bodies, all this other shit. Fine, okay, fair enough. But you can't just cast these men out because they're still a part of this society. And if you allow them to basically grow at odds with you, huge problems. Conflict, so this fucking this is how you get fucking bombers and shooters. Literally, this is how you get guys who will take guns and fucking shoot places up. And then all of a sudden we look back and like, oh my god, how did that happen? These motherfucker, you guys are partially the cause to this, right? And so I don't hate Tate for trying to become a beacon for these guys. I just think that the way he's doing it sometimes, in my opinion, is a bit scummy and a bit negative. Like his Hustlers University shit, I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing here? You're charging guys like 5-10 grand for a fucking Discord channel. What are you doing, right? So that kind of
Can
stuff.
I ask you another one? Another
Yeah,
question
sure, go
real quick? Do you think men, like to this day, are becoming more and more weak?
Yeah, this is something we've actually talked about on our podcast. My boy over here, I'm actually letting him take this one, probably thinks that they're weaker than I would think, but I would definitely agree that that's becoming kind of an issue where something that we actually talked about in our last podcast, where we're overcorrecting ourselves as a society, in my opinion, quite a bit, and that's leading to a lot of men developing certain traits that they may not have had 20, 30, 40 years ago. And so that's generally leading to like what some other guys would call weakness, right? So
Yeah.
what you got here?
I'll say one thing about the last question is that the reality is biologically, even before monetary value, women wanted the best. Whether you're the ugliest woman in a tribe or a village, or you're the best fucking top of the line princess, you want the best man because you want your offspring to have the best chance in an environment. So there's levels to that, right? And you have to differentiate between a girl who wants you just for money versus a girl who wants like a responsible man. And there's like, you'll realize the patterns later on in life, and for me to break that down would be a waste of time of yours. But what I'll say about this question is that generally life in the first world countries has become so easy that we've started making pointless fucking problems that don't exist. Like speech control. Like certain words are bad. Certain things are this. Like the whole N-word, right? Was a word that white people made to hurt black people. But what did black people do? They started using that word so it doesn't
and
hurt
saying
them.
it like in raps and all that.
Exactly. Same with like, you know, like don't get offended, but like beaner, right? Like someone calls you a beaner, right? You call yourself or your buddy a beaner as a joke because you guys know that it's not coming from a bad place. That's how you take words over. But the problem right now is
Or like an Edgar.
Yeah. But the problem right now is that we gave feminism too much light and we went too left. And now
we gave them like, too much power, everything.
Exactly. Now we got guys getting perms and waiting 4 hours to get a fucking perm on a Friday so that their hairs align with other soft fucking dudes